Am I the a-hole for letting my kids loot my brother's house to prove my point? My brother and his family came for a visit last month. My kids and I play with Lego and we have fun leaving little dioramas around my house. Just silly stuff like a fight between Iron Man and Darth Vader on the loot llama. It's just our way of leaving Easter eggs around the house. My nephew really liked them and decided to take a few home. When we noticed they were missing, I asked my brother to bring them back. He said that it was just kids being kids and that he would get them back the next time we saw each other. I saw him for coffee and I reminded him beforehand that I wanted all our stuff back. He forgot to bring the toys. Okay, game on. We went over to his place for a barbecue. I told my kids that unless all our stuff was returned to us when we got there, literally anything in the house was fair game. Like the godless barbarians they are, they went to town. When we left, I don't think there were any remotes, small electronics, or beer mugs left at his house. I actually had to sneak the dog back into the house before we left. I started getting calls on our way home. I ignored them. When I got home, I returned his calls. He said a bunch of stuff was missing from his house. I said that I would check with the kids. He said that I freaking well knew what happened and that he wanted his things back. I said I would box it up and return it the next time we saw each other. As long as we got our Lego back. He was at my house with my Lego later that evening. He had even accidentally included stuff that wasn't ours. I returned it and his stuff. I told him that this is how we would be dealing with his kid in the future. He is pissed off that he had to make a special trip to return my stuff. My parents think that there is a huge difference between an 8-year-old taking Lego minifigures and a couple of teenagers pillaging their uncle's house. So am I the a-hole here?
Here are the top comments, plus Opie's reply.
So you were literally at his house and they didn't give the Legos his kid stole back to you? Unless your nephew is intellectually compromised in some way, 8 years old is absolutely old enough to know that stealing is wrong. Nicely played.
Not the a-hole, and that's an amazing way to get yourself stuff back. The only issue I can potentially see is how it impacts your kids. I think that some kids that age would understand why this was an appropriate response to this specific situation, but some would definitely not. You don't want your kid to think that the appropriate response when someone takes something is to take some of their stuff. You know them better than we do, so I'm imagining they're going to be fine.
OP replied.
My kids are 14 and 17. They understood the assignment. It's an easy swap, I guess.
Honestly, I think you did what you had to do. If your brother wasn't taking your stuff seriously, then showing him how it feels was kind of fair. Plus, kids need to learn boundaries too. Sometimes people need a little wake-up call to realize their actions have consequences. It's all about teaching them respect for other people's things.
You're the a-hole. I know people aren't gonna like it, but it's an 8-year-old some Legos, and probably the lowest thing on his priority list. If you really cared, you would have been understanding on giving him more time to bring the toys. This reads like you just wanted to slam dunk him for any reason you possibly could, under the guise of just barely being in the right.